Novice are the same voters who want you to work for them.
People's Democratic Party, PDP National Executive Council, has given the outfit a green light to enter and participate in the unfolding country's next political dispensation. The party was urged to immediately move and approach the ruling party, Jubilee, KANU, and other like-minded parties through engagement in national discourse. Speaking at Suneka during the meeting, party leader Omingo Magara pointed out it was time to get involved in supporting the national government agenda through structured negotiations.
We need to re-strategize as a party so that we take positions that are commensurate with what is happening currently in the political dispensation. And what the members did resolve is that we need to now take our engagement at the national level and start engaging and supporting the government agenda.
Well, we now want to take you to Nakuru County, where our reporter Nancy Okware has been accompanying CS for Health Mutahi Kagwe, who is set to check the preparedness, the level of preparedness of COVID-19 systems there, where he will also, he is expected to launch the primary healthcare strategic framework in the county. So Nancy Okware, if you can hear me, where are we at this time? Has the CS begun speaking about some of the preparedness options there?
Well, a very good afternoon to you, Alan. Aoko, back at the broadcasting house. We are coming to you live from the Nakuru Referral Hospital right here in Nakuru County, where Health Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe, alongside other officials from the Ministry of Health, are set to tour the county and specifically this hospital in a bid to inspect the situation on the ground in terms of the preparedness of the county to handle COVID-19 cases. Remember that the mantle has been handed over to the counties to ensure that they are well prepared to handle any coronavirus cases, with Health Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe and of course the government telling the counties that they need to have at least a minimum of at least 300 isolation bed capacity for coronavirus patients. This is the day that the county, the Ministry of Health is set to tour this particular facility. Remember that Nakuru County currently has 154 confirmed coronavirus cases. And of course, when the CS arrives here anytime from now, he's first going to tour the Moi Primary School right here in the county, where the training for health workers is ongoing. Remember that health workers are on the front line in ensuring that they help Kenyans when it comes to the coronavirus. And of course, most of the time they are at risk. Remember that most of them have been infected by the coronavirus, hence training becomes key. Apart from touring the county and assessing the situation on the ground, the Minister of Health is also set to launch the primary healthcare strategic framework, as well as the communication, or rather the community health policy. Remember that right now, when the Minister of Health is banking on the home-based care, hence community policing is very important, because Kenyans have been urged to embrace individual responsibility in a bid to ensure that we flatten the COVID-19 infection curve. Remember that as at yesterday, the number of confirmed cases in the country stood at 11,252, and that was after an additional 461 cases were recorded from a sample size of 4,261, meaning that the country is still not out of the woods yet, hence the need for everyone to ensure that they embrace individual responsibility. And apart from Kenyans being urged to embrace individual responsibility, counties are being urged to ensure that they are well equipped, they are well prepared, because Health Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe said that if one is confirmed to be suffering from coronavirus from a different county, then they will not be transferred to Nairobi County for treatment. Hence the need for the counties to ensure that they are well prepared to handle any cases that may emerge. Currently, over 40 counties are already, have already recorded coronavirus cases. And the ministry has been reminding Kenyans and counties in general that it is just a matter of time before all the counties, all the 47 counties are infected. And remember that recently, President Uhuru Kenyatta lifted the restriction of movement in and out of the hotspot counties, that is Nairobi County and even Mombasa, meaning that Kenyans are now free to move to various counties. Hence, the risk of the other counties that were yet to receive any cases are high, the risk of those counties being infected. So we will continue keeping tabs on what is happening here at the Nakuru Referral Hospital. Anytime from now, the Health Cabinet Secretary is set to arrive accompanied by the Nakuru County Governor Lee Kinyanjui. And of course, we will be giving you and bringing you those proceedings live from here so that you can get to know how the numbers look like in terms of today. Yesterday, the number of confirmed cases, the total is at now stands at 11,252, and we await the next briefing from the Ministry of Health. For now, I hand it back to you, Alan Aoko, at the Broadcasting House.
Thank you very much, Nancy Okwari. They're just giving us an update of what the CS for Health, Mutahi Kagwe, is doing in Nakuru County, where she's just updated us that he is assessing the COVID situation, preparedness there, and also about to launch the primary healthcare strategic framework and the community health policy. And of course, he will also give an update of the COVID-19 situation in the country a bit later on, where we'll be sure to link live to the county once more. Now, moving on, counties remain on high alert amid surging COVID-19 cases in the country. In Kisii, a group of elderly persons with underlying medical conditions are facing difficulties in accessing treatment as they strive to minimize their exposure to the virus. Meanwhile, places of worship are preparing to reopen this Sunday amid tight health protocols to prevent the spread of the virus. Beatrice Gatonye with details of several initiatives within counties to contain the spread of the virus.
For the elderly population in Kisii, totaling about 65,000, life has not been the same following the outbreak of the virus. They have been forced to make drastic changes to stay physically fit during the pandemic. 70-year-old Gladwell Ontuga says the pandemic has not only affected elderly persons psychologically, but also financially, as they are forced to pay more for transport to get treatment from various hospitals. Sameta Deputy County Commissioner Mary Kamau appealed to them to continue seeking medical treatment in health facilities to avoid complications by failing to take medication.
Those people who are diabetic with hypertension and cancer, and these are the people who are weak, their immune system is weak. The relatives who are coming from Nairobi, like the brothers, sisters, maybe a child, we have told our chiefs to go on with sensitization so that they tell these people, when you come in, please quarantine yourself so that you don't infect these other persons, because we don't know how many are infected, whether you are infected or not.
In the meantime, traditional elders drawn from Kaya Fungo and Kaya Jibana in Kilifi County held special cultural prayers for an end to the pandemic. They said the disease has caused economic disruption and suffering. During the prayers, they slaughtered goats as a sacrifice to end the virus. The prayers in the Mijikenda sacred shrines were organized by the Institute for Culture and Ecology that seeks to promote the role of culture in the environment in Kilifi County.
Tuko hapa Kaya Jibana kwa sababu ya maombi ya corona. Corona inatoka huko uzunguni, inaingia Kenya, ulimwengu wote, mpaka imefika huku pwani. Leo tulikuwa na matandiko haya kuhusu hii corona irudi huko ilikozaliwa. Sisi hatutaki magonjwa ya wazungu.
Elsewhere, Narok County Referral Hospital has benefited from locally manufactured personal protective equipment. The equipment were donated through the Kenya COVID-19 Fund in partnership with Equity Group Foundation. The PPEs, valued at 237.2 million shillings, were donated to public hospitals for use by healthcare workers directly dealing with COVID-19 patients.
The frontline workers are the ones wako wako pale mbele kwa hii vita. And if we don't protect them, we'll be trying to cure one, we lose the other.
Meanwhile, mobile telephone company Safaricom has extended free access to digital education content for primary and secondary school students to 8th September 2020, following the extended closure of learning institutions. The content, which is approved by the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development, has been free to access from April 2020. And several places of worship are ready to reopen on Sunday 19th this month, following approval by the government. Father in charge of St. Francis of Assisi, Ruiru, Charles Njoroge, says that they have put in place all requirements by the Ministry of Health to contain the spread of COVID-19.
Kwa vile idadi ya washirika wetu ni kubwa kwa kanisa letu, tumeonelea ni vizuri tupeane misa 6.
Naendelea kukutana na watu kwa ajili ya kuambia how we need to cooperate with all those protocols. Tumebadilisha pia timing ya ibada kwa ajili tumekuwa tukikuwa na ibada 2, lakini sasa tutakuwa na ibada 3 tunapoanza kwa ajili ya mabadiliko ambayo imekuwa.
Beatrice Gatonye-Ngetich, Channel 1 News.
Elsewhere, a section of Mijikenda elders drawn from Kilifi County have faulted a decision by authorities from the region to outlaw some cultural practices viewed as bordering on witchcraft. The elders from the Malindi District Cultural Association say it was wrong for authorities to ban the activities without prior consultations. Magarini Deputy County Commissioner had last month banned witch doctors from conducting their activities, saying anyone found engaging in such practices will be arrested and charged in court.
Na chama chetu hasa cha Madka ni chama cha kuleta kuregesha utamaduni. Na tumeshangaa na tumepata tumepigwa na butwaa kubwa kwamba ofisi ya DCC wamepiga marufuku waganga katika sehemu za Magarini. Ati kama kwamba uganga ndio unafanya wazee wanauawa kwa sababu ya mambo ya uchawi. Nataka kueleza tu kwamba hili si sahihi. Tunashangaa kwamba uganga unapata tafsiri ya uchawi ama mtu ambaye anasaidia wazee kuuawa. Mganga ni tabibu wa kawaida. Na tukisema uganga upigwe marufuku hapa Magarini, basi tutakuwa tunasema kwamba wananchi wa Magarini wamenyimwa haki zao za kikatiba.
Wale viongozi ambao wanahusika ama viongozi wetu wote, wale ambao wako bunge, wana haki ya kuleta mswada bunge kuhakikisha hicho kipengele kimeondolewa. Hicho kipengele kiwe kimeondolewa. Kiliongelewa kidogo. Na aliyekuwa mbunge wa zamani hapa miaka hii ambayo ya nyuma, Daniel Kazungumzee, aliweza kuileta bunge, lakini haikuongelewa mpaka ikafikia mwisho na hakuna chochote ambacho kilifanyika.
Well, we want to take our first break here on KBC Channel 1 News. Remember, you can always interact with us on our social media platforms. And I want to thank DJ Tenta at DJ Tenta 254 for watching us all the way from Nyeri. But first, let's have that break.
When the world changed, it made us go back to the simple joys and love the little things even more, like serving up your best, eating together, and sharing more. Now, we'll take nothing for granted and always remember to taste the simple joys. Coca-Cola. Taste the simple joys.
From the Mount Kenya region to eastern, to the Rift Valley, to western, and even the coast region. Smallholder farmers have a tale to tell about the household water storage project.
Sasa kabla hii damu haijashimbwa tulikuwa na shida sana ya maji. Hata mifugo yetu hakuwa anapata maji.
Hii water pan imenisaidia sana juu ya hali ya kiangazi wakati inatupiga. Tunapigwa sana na wakati wa kiangazi.
Watch it on Thursday at 8:30 p.m. only on KBC Channel 1.
Yo, muniitisha mtu wangu na tukawapatia.
Mwenzako I feel so good, pindi nikikuona. Kanyaga. Pull up love, yeah. Pull up love.
Top Mashariki, mpango mzima, kipindi ambacho kinakupatia burudani katika kanda Afrika Mashariki. I don't wanna lose your love tonight. Ukiwa na mie Munyi Kazungu hapa, nite kaka mkubwa na kuletea mahanja. Ungana na mimi Munyi Mtetezi Kazungu kila siku ya Ijumaa kuanzia mida saa 4 usiku. Top Mashariki freestyle au sio ni take over.
Indeed, welcome back to the broadcast. Now, residents of Mwisho wa Raha in Kangema constituency are baying for the blood of an administration police officer and two assistant chiefs who allegedly colluded to rape a 16-year-old girl. The residents say the three conspired to commit the offense within the expansive Aberdare forest.
The residents say that the 16-year-old girl was ordered by the police officer in question to go into the Aberdare forest, where he proceeded to rape her as the two assistant chiefs kept guard.
Ndio nilipata hiyo msichana wakiingia kwa msitu, kulikuwa saa 10 na dakika 45.
On learning about what was happening, the villagers stormed the forest, roughed up one of the assistant chiefs, while the other was lucky to narrowly escape their wrath. They also attempted to burn the vehicle that had come to rescue the administration police officer, but were dispersed by the police.
Mamake alijulishwa na mtu mwingine. Akaambia msichana wako ako kwa kichaka na ako na huyo askari wa AP. Sasa wakati tulisikia hiyo maneno, mamake akakuja akatuelezea hapa. Sisi tukafuata hii njia, tukaenda tukashika assistant chief wa Wajerere, watu wakapotea na hiyo mwingine askari wa AP akapotea.
Mzee mkubwa akona kwake na akona familia yake na anakuja kuharibu mtoto wa miaka 15. Kabla angekuja kwa mimi mzee kukosa kuharibu msichana wa shule.
The villagers staged a protest demanding justice, decrying what they say are increased cases of rape targeting schoolgirls in the area, with the Aberdare forest becoming a hotspot for the vice.
Hatutaki kufanywa matendo kama hiyo, na tunataka mheshimiwa wetu wa Kagema Bwana Muturi, tunamuomba tafadhali, hawa wasichana wetu tunajua sasa wameharibiwa kabisa, tunataka wote wapelekwe huko hospitali wapimwe.
Confirming the incident, Kangema Deputy County Commissioner Agnes Kaloki said that one of the assistant chiefs has already been arrested and that investigations into the matter are ongoing.
It is alleged that a girl was defiled, and investigations are ongoing. So the case is with the police right now.
Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha, who toured Murang'a County, condemned the incident, promising that action will be taken if the allegations are substantiated.
To the last time I checked, there is nobody who is above the law. And this corruption is blocking access to the law. Let us have the facts, and we shall take it to the high heavens, even before the president himself, and justice shall be done.
For Channel 1 News, I'm Safin Aching Ouma.
Deeply unfortunate. Elsewhere, Baringo South Member of Parliament Charles Kamuren has decried what he says is escalating cases of insecurity in the constituency. Kamuren says bandits continue to wreak havoc in the region with impunity despite heavy presence of security officers in the area.
Baringo County has suffered its fair share of security challenges, with bandits perpetrating acts of criminality with reckless abandon. Baringo South Member of Parliament Charles Kamuren now challenging heads of security within the region to act more decisively to deal with the vice. Kamuren saying despite deployment of more security personnel to the region, bandits continue to wreak havoc.
Wizi ya ng'ombe ni tabia ambayo imeisha zamani na hatutaki tena kurudi huko, na hiyo ng'ombe yangu imeenda irudishwe mara moja. Irudishwe mara moja. Na kama serikali wameshindwa na pesa, kama wamekosa pesa ya operation, waseme turudi bunge tuongezie nyinyi pesa. Afadhali tupatie nyinyi pesa zote ili operation iendelee.
Marigat Sub-County Police Commander Benjolif Muneve, however, says his officers remain committed to address the challenges, even as he implored on the local community to partner with security agents to flush out criminals living in their midst.
Tena nikiangalia Kabel ama Mchongoi hauna nyumba 10. Sasa hii shida zenu waka mnazipeleka wapi? Mpaka kwa chief. Nataka muone na nyumba 10.
Yusuf Farah, Channel 1 News.
Now, persons with disabilities drawn from West Pokot County have benefited from a free medical camp on corrective surgery, courtesy of the AIC Cure International and the region's county administration. The 3 days event under the office of the county First Lady started yesterday at Konyao, Chepararia and Sigor, and entails assessment of people living with disabilities with particular interest on those with bone-related conditions.
It was welcome relief for persons with disabilities in West Pokot County after they benefited from a medical camp. The initiative mostly targeted children for life-changing corrective surgeries, as well as a guide on assistive devices given out depending on individual assessment report. Speaking in Fadhalio Secondary School, Sigor, during the exercise, County First Lady Dr. Mary Lunyangapuo said doctors from the Kijabe Cure International Hospital and from the county government will conduct the surgery.
Wazazi waleta watoto ili waweze kusaidiwa kwa sababu tumepewa hiyo nafasi na hatutaki ipotee bure.
AIC Cure International Development Director Nelson Mwoki says they have identified 22 needy children who need urgent surgery.
What we're trying to do is review them, make a correction plan for them, and especially children, because a lot of children from the community end up missing a lot of milestones because of these conditions, and a lot of these conditions can be corrected, especially when the children are still young, because after that they can live out.
Area Governor John Lonyangapuo said the county has many children below the age of 5 who have disabilities, adding that his administration will employ 4 physical therapy officers to help in the corrective surgery.
Na kama specialized equipment hakuna, itabidi sisi kuchukua buses, specific buses yenye itapepa watu ambao wanakubalika kisheria sahihi ya COVID rules, ili hao watoto wachache wapelekwe waende wafanywe corrective surgery wala warudi.
And the family of a boy whose leg was amputated after he was injured during a security operation is seeking justice. 10-year-old Limo Poriot from Naudu village in Silale Ward is said to have sustained at least 5 bullets on his leg.
Uwezo kama tunaweza kuwa na uwezo wa serikali washughulikie hiyo miku ingine ya at least artificial leg yenye asenulia kijana at least anatembea, kwa sababu vile nikiuliza kijana unasikiaje sasa, tunaweza kaa na kijana chini akiona watoto wenye anacheza ananiambia, ndugu yangu, kama ningekuwa na miguu mbili si ningeweza kutembea kama hawa. Mimi naona kijana anajisumbua sana, hako na stress. At least ndio naomba.
He's said to have been herding his father's cars on 21st of May this year when the officers who were carrying out the operation descended on him and shot him severally on both legs. Yusuf Farah, Channel 1 News.
Meanwhile, young people have been challenged to take advantage of opportunities presented by the government's National Hygiene Program, whose second phase was launched earlier this week. The 10 billion shillings program that was launched across the country seeks to cushion beneficiaries from the adverse effects of COVID-19 pandemic.
With youth unemployment continuing to be a major setback to the country's development, over 200 youth in Maralal town within Samburu County are set to benefit from the national government program, popularly known as Kazi Mtaani. Speaking after launching the program, State Department for Vocational and Technical Training Principal Secretary Dr. Julius Juan said the national government plans to engage 283,000 youth in the program across the country.
Mambo ya COVID inaandamana na usafi na hygiene, tukaonelea president akaonelea pia tuweze kukuaisha mji wetu safi, makazi yetu yawe masafi at the same time.
Meanwhile, Education Principal Secretary Colette Suda is urging young people to make good use of opportunities created out of the COVID-19 pandemic. Speaking while launching Kazi Mtaani initiative in Homa Bay County, Suda said the project will not only boost incomes among those living in informal settlements, but also control the spread of the virus.
It is a very rare opportunity. It is a very unique opportunity. It is for 6.5 months in phase 2. But there are so many other people who could have benefited from this.
Homa Bay Governor Cyprian Awiti saying that by lifting the cessation of movement and opening the economy, Kenyans who were hard hit by tough economic times now have the opportunity to work hard towards bettering their lives. Close to 3,300 youth from Homa Bay County are set to benefit from the initiative. Yusuf Farah, Channel 1 News.
Elsewhere, non-governmental youth organizations in Mombasa County have launched a civic education exercise aimed at sensitizing the locals on the need to hold their leaders accountable. The group is challenging the youth in the county to participate in development matters and demand for good governance. Anburu, the details of the initiative.
Speaking during a one-week training of 15 youth civic educators, Youth Alive Kenya Programs Officer Purity Chebor said there is need to embrace technology to disseminate information to the youth to engage in governance issues within the county units.
We as youth have actually adopted technology that, we don't have to meet physically, but we will use the social media platform. We'll create WhatsApp group. We will create the webinar that, we can actually discuss all these processes. So, despite the coronavirus, we will still engage the county governments on good governance.
The training that is targeting to sensitize 30,000 youth in Mombasa County will see them trained on effective ways to address their grievances to the county administration and participate in the governance and development projects.
Lakini however much devolution is old, 7 years old or 8 years old, still so many people hawajui haki yao na hawajui wanaweza kujihusisha vipi katika masuala ya maendeleo katika kaunti yetu ya Mombasa. Ndio pale tunasema ni kwamba lazima tufundishe vijana na lazima tufundishe vijana wahakikishe kwamba wanajua haki yao. Isiwe kila mara wanaenda kulalamika kwamba hatujaona kitu imefanywa, bali ni nini wanafanya wao kuhakikisha kwamba ni jukumu lao kuhakikisha kwamba zile vitu zimekuwa pushed.
The youth were also trained on the devolution structures and ways in which they can use their innovation to create job opportunities.
We need to come to shy away from the process of each and every time we demonstrating that it is our right, what have you done for us, but we need to come in the table to discuss and try to see how best can we ensure that we have a better governance system in our county Mombasa and in our country Kenya.
The youth organizations are also planning to sensitize youth in 3 other counties within the coast region. For Channel 1 Lunchtime News from Mombasa County, I am Anburu.
Indeed, it is time now to transact. A macadamia processing company in Murang'a County has achieved an over 75% female workforce, citing high hygiene levels among women. The company now empowers its largely female workforce by offering financial management training as well as reproductive health education. This in turn ensures to notch hygiene levels in the company. Here's Betty Kiptum with the details.
Machines roar at this food processing plant in Kakuzi, Gitanga constituency. A look around the workforce shows a staggering high number of women. The macadamia processing company says it has ended up with 3/4 of its workforce being women due to the gender's high attentiveness to set hygiene standards. With the coronavirus pandemic ravaging the world, processors have been forced to incorporate the strict health protocols as handling of foods become even more a delicate affair.
Lazima tuzingatie usafi kwa hali ya juu sana kwa sababu tunatengeneza chakula. Hata wewe nyumbani kwako huwezi taka mfanyikazi wako wa nyumbani akutengenezee chakula kama yeye si msafi.
Tumeweka mikakati ya kuhakikisha ya kwamba hakuna mfanyikazi ambaye anakuwa, ikiwezekana hakuna mfanyikazi ambaye anapatwa na janga la COVID-19.
From the sorting process to shell separation and even packaging, more women are handling the process. The women say they were employed on merit and are happy working at the farm as it has enabled them meet their families' needs.
Nimefurahi sana kuwa kwa hii kiwanda cha makadamia kwa sababu imeweza kunisaidia kusimamia familia yangu, imeweza kunisaidia kujenga, imeweza kunisaidia kusimamia wazazi wangu kwa bills za hospitali.
Pia imeweza kutupatia manyumba, makazi ya kukaa, ambao wametoka mbali wameweza kupata makazi hapa na kuweza originate hapa.
Following the high number of women, the company now provides training for its employees, including financial management as well as reproductive health education.
Kampuni kakuja na hiyo initiative ya kuweza kuprovidea hawa wanawake sanitary towels. Ndio kwamba wakati umepatwa na hiyo janga na huko umejitayarisha, tunaita emergency, unaweza kuprovidiwa na 2 sanitary pads za kuweza kujitengeneza nazo kabla uende nyumbani.
The company is keen to take care of its employees' health and safety as well as provide a good working environment for the women. Betty Kiptum, Channel 1 Business.
Well, increased cost of transport is negatively impacting the productivity of government workforce, according to the Union of Kenya Civil Servants. The Union Secretary General Tom Odege says most government employees cannot afford basic commodities due to high transport costs, which has stretched daily expenses besides jeopardizing critical public services.
As the coronavirus pandemic continues to wreak havoc in the job market, that has so far seen an estimated 800,000 jobs lost in the private sector, stakeholders are now issuing alert on the impact of COVID-19 in the civil service when it comes to work output. According to the Union of Civil Servants, productivity is only at a quarter of normal operations, with critical government offices mostly offering selected essential services left understaffed as strict health measures are enforced. According to the Union Secretary General Tom Odege, this is partly occasioned by high cost of living that has reduced productivity of the workers.
Those who are working at the borders are now working extra time because they are now forced to do even the work of security, because some of them are forced to now restrict movements which were not there before. So the public service currently, those who are in the service are overworked. But those who are working in areas where the services are scaled down, the public is suffering because they are not getting the services.
Escalating transport charges, the union says, are now beyond many civil servants.
The transport cost has risen twice or thrice, but they are maintained on the same wage. We are not trying to tell the government to give more money, but you'll find that at the end of the day, these people are not able to deliver services throughout the month as they used to do, because it reaches a point where they can no longer be able to go to work because of the cost of transport.
The union asks that all civil servants should be treated as frontline workers due to their frequent interaction with clients and be provided the PPE kits and adequate insurance cover.
Every public servant who is in contact with the public should be given the same, so that they should not fear going to work for the public, so that we can be in a position or a direction trying to normalize the service delivery to the people of Kenya, because we are not going to live in fear forever.
The union is now pushing for an increase of civil servants' allowance to mitigate against the adverse economic effects of COVID-19 pandemic. Benson Rioba reporting for Channel 1 Business.
Elsewhere, farmers in Samia Busia County have been challenged to embrace cotton farming to tap a ready market that will be offered by the Luanda Ginnery, which is expected to be operational in 2 months' time. Funyula MP Wilberforce Mudenyo says to meet the capacity of the Ginnery, farmers should crop 600 hectares of the high-yielding hybrid cotton variety.
Renovation works at the Luanda Ginnery was expected to be completed in May this year. However, COVID-19 happened, delaying the processes, according to Funyula Member of Parliament Wilberforce Mudenyo, who expects the processor to be operational in 2 months.
Tukiweka production about 1,000, tutakuwa na close to 60 tons of cotton in Samia by December. Tuwe na complete 60 million ambao tuna imani angalau itafanya revival.
The revival of the Ginnery is funded by the national government, which availed 60 million shillings to bring back to life the processor that ground to a halt about 2 decades ago. He is challenging area farmers to increase the acreage under cotton to produce enough lint for the processor.
Tumepewa mbegu ya kupanda mara 3 hybrid KSA 81M na hii ya BT cotton. Tumegawa hiyo mbegu kwa wingi. We are expecting ya kwamba hiyo mbegu tumeshagawa almost 30,000 farmers ambao wanataka wapande hiyo pamba, kwa sababu hii Ginnery kifufuka wakitengeneza hii Ginnery inataka raw material, bila pamba haitaendelea mahali.
Utainuka sana hapa katika area hii kiwanda hichi kinapoamuka na kufanya kazi.
The lawmaker recommends that farmers plant the recently released hybrid cotton variety, which is high yielding and adapts well to conditions in the area.
Omba wakulima, hizi mbegu ni hybrid seeds ambazo ziko improved, ziko na higher production compared zile case tulikuwa tumepewa mwaka jana. Na pia nataka kuhakikisha kuwa hizi za mwaka huu si zile ambao zilikuwa zinamea zinakosa kuweka balls.
Farmers are upbeat about the operationalization of the Ginnery.
Favorable weather across tea-growing regions, coupled with improved crop husbandry practices, saw green leaf production grow by 28.5% for the year ended June 30th, 2020, to stand at 1.5 billion kilograms compared to 1.3 billion kilograms over a similar period last year. This is despite subdued global prices as a result of COVID-19 disruptions along the value chain, according to Kenya Tea Development Agency.
Steady weather patterns characterized by prolonged rains experienced in the country for the year ended June 30th, 2020, resulted in higher yields for green tea leaves. As such, it is estimated that production in KTDA-managed factories rose from 9 million to 13 million kilos on a weekly basis during this period. However, the outbreak of the coronavirus pandemic across the globe has affected sales that saw global tea prices plummet on the backdrop of production oversupply in the market. As a result, the unit price of KTDA old teas for the financial year 2019-2020 fell by 6.8% to an average 12-year low of $2.42 per kilo compared to $2.59 per kilo in 2019. This is the lowest KTDA average price since 2008, when the average price per kilo of tea at the auction was $2.17. In the last 3 auctions for the year ended June 2020, the average price for a kilo of tea at the auction dropped below $2, a scenario last seen in 2007. Kenya is not an exception, as falling tea prices is being experienced across the other markets such as India and Sri Lanka that have also posted similar price declines as a result of oversupply and the disruption in the industry. Members of the 54 tea factory companies, which own the 69 factories that are managed by KTDA, will soon know how much they earned for the period under review as the agency closes its financial books. Regina Manyara reporting for Channel 1 Business.
At about 43 minutes past the hour, we want to take our second break now, and we'd like to also thank Idris Magondo for interacting with us on our social media platforms. Do continue watching this broadcast, but first let's have that break.
Hata nilikuwa nataka wakuje, kwa hivyo wakuje. Asante sana.
Kamau, ni wapi unataka kutupeleka?
Huko mashambani amejenga.
Lakini mimi sitaki kwenda huko.
Utakunywa nini?
Mimi saa hii sina happy time.
Wacha niende kwa soko nikuendee tu matunda.
Hapana Kamau, keti tu chini. Hapa sioni kujitoa.
Naweza kukuamini kweli?
Nataka kudeal na wayune na job.
Deal na wao sasa.
Wacha mimi nirudiki hivi, wacha nikufikishe tu hapa.
Sawa.
This weekend on KBC Channel 1.
Mimi si mtoto. You know very well that was my idea and you ended up taking it. You have a lot of explaining to do.
Madam Julia.
Can you guys believe that he was hooking me up with his father?
He is not my father.
Aye?
Can we move on to a more valuable topic?
This Joan?
Oh, Joan, she's...
Can you not talk to me, please? Thank you. I'd hold my tongue if I were you.
What I'm trying to say is that you can give me that better. You know I can do others.
Thank you very much for staying with us. Now, South Africa's coronavirus cases crossed the 300,000 mark, the most in Africa and among the top 10 in the world. More than 13.7 million people around the world have been diagnosed with COVID-19, while more than 8.1 million have recovered, with over 587,000 having succumbed to the virus, according to data from Johns Hopkins University.
Africa's most affected nation, South Africa, recorded a rise of 12,757 cases on Wednesday to reach 311,049 confirmed COVID-19 cases, a little over 4 months since the first case was confirmed in the country. South Africa is now the 8th country in the world with the most recorded number of cases. The country has seen a total of 160,693 recoveries and 4,453 deaths. Meanwhile, India's coronavirus cases surged another 32,695, taking the nation closer to 1 million and forcing a new lockdown in the popular western beach state of Goa, 2 weeks after it was reopened to tourists. And Brazil's President Jair Bolsonaro is again touting the supposed benefits of malaria drug hydrochloroquine as a treatment for COVID-19, as he tested positive for the virus again on Wednesday. Elsewhere, Swiss drug maker Novartis will provide 15 generic drugs for treating the symptoms of coronavirus to developing countries on a not-for-profit basis. The drugs range from antibiotics to steroids and pills for diarrhea and will be provided to 79 low and lower middle income countries. China has given the green light to phase 1 clinical trials of a potential coronavirus vaccine using biotech technology. This is the 9th potential vaccine to move into various stages of human testing in China. In the meantime, the Trump administration is taking control of data collection on COVID-19 hospitalization in the United States from the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention, raising questions about whether the information will be politicized as cases in the United States surge and death rise. In Latin America, the number of coronavirus-related deaths has now exceeded 150,000, with the World Health Organization warning that the outbreak is expected to peak next month in the region. The worst-hit country by far is Brazil, where nearly 2 million people have been infected and more than 75,000 have died, the world's second highest death toll behind only the United States. For Channel 1 News, I am Emily K. Bade.
time to keep fit now. Now, Arsenal boss Mikel Arteta says he is concerned that he will not have the finances to strengthen his side in the summer transfer window. The Gunners beat champions Liverpool 2-1 last night, but still have work to do if they are to secure a top 6 finish. Arsenal are 9th, 3 points behind 6th placed Wolves. Now, to comply with the terms of its freshly renewed operating license, MTN Uganda must list a 20% stake on the country's stock exchange within the next 2 years. After 2 years of negotiations, MTN Uganda finally reached a $100 million agreement for a 12-year renewal of its operating license. Details of this story and others in our African Business Wrap.
According to reports, the Uganda Communications Commission has also given MTN 5 years to achieve network coverage for a minimum of 90% of the country's population. MTN Uganda has not yet agreed to the requirement on the grounds that listing shares locally may not have the desired effect of increasing local ownership in the operator via stakeholdings. In January, CEO Wim van Helleputte argued that the government should drop the requirement and instead allow local investors to acquire stakes in overseas firms via private placements, subject to a vetting process. Van Helleputte noted that this would ensure that Ugandans were able to acquire holdings in foreign companies, whereas even if an initial public officer imposed a local bidding requirement, overseas investors will still find ways to buy shares via stock exchange. MTN's previous license expired in October 2018, and since that point it had been providing services via temporary licenses that it renews every 6 months. Elsewhere, Nigerian workers and consumers still face challenges in all sectors of the economy. The second round of the COVID-19 National Longitudinal Phone Survey conducted in June by the National Bureau of Statistics has shown. According to the survey, millions of Nigerians have been struggling to survive as there has not been any significant improvement in safety nets or other sources of income assistance from institutions and or remittances. In June, there was virtually no change in the provision of safety nets, as the NBA's data showed that 13% of households received food assistance, while 2% reported having received a direct cash transfer. Finally, drones with specialty spraying technology were deployed for a recent sugarcane ripening trail in South Africa, showing an evident increase in the amount of sugar extracted from the canes. This might signal a potential improvement in the profit margin for the cane growers, who have been incurring losses from the country's ailing sugar industry. Primarily grown in tropical and subtropical regions, sugarcane is the type of perennial, high-value cash crop that serves as juicy fruit, as well as the major feedstock for sugar production. South Africa ranks the world's top 15 sugar-producing countries that provide cost-effective, high-quality sugar products. However, due to a series of interweaving threats, mainly the influx of cheap imports and the imposition of sugar tax, South Africa's 833 million sugar industry has been struggling to stay competitive in the global market.
Well, that's where we cap it up here on KBC Channel 1 Lunchtime News. My name is Aoko, and a special thanks to our sign language interpreter, Lensa Odingo, for staying with us. Of course, we shall be giving you more on consequent bulletins. Do continue engaging us on social media. Until then, have a good afternoon.
Beauty College.
Vera Beauty and Fashion College, with branches in Nairobi, Eldoret, Thika, and Meru. Did you know that we are a TVET-approved institution? We offer courses in fashion design, interior design in soft furnishing, event decoration, flower arrangement, event planning, hairdressing, barbering and dreadlocks, beauty therapy, makeup, nail technology, spa massages, teaching skills, TOT, solo business management, and many more. Register now and visit our website on www.verabeautycollege.com. You can also call on 0725 923 550 Nairobi branch, 0728 087 689 Eldoret branch, 0722 227428 Thika branch, 0725 000 706 Meru branch. Vera Beauty and Fashion College, a TVET approved institution.
On the next episode of
Nasema, mwangalia huyu. Sasa ukuja kuuza nini hapa? Sio sura yako mbaya.
Aisha, sema kusha kutoka wewe. Maji na maji ya kutosha.
Sijakuja sababu ya maji.
Mambo yambadilika.
Jenga hadi atekela leo lazima nimalize fundi. Wewe nipe pesa zangu wewe.
Tujali kazi zenu
Hamjambo wa Kenya wenzangu. Mimi ni Mheshimiwa Mize. Ninalotaka kuambia ni kuwasihi ya kwamba korona iko. Na ili tupigane nayo na tuishinde, ukitoka nje, ukifika kule nje, kuna hata maji yamewekwa nje na serikali. Unanawa mikono kwa maji na sabuni. Na maji yenyewe yawe ni yale ya kutiririka. Pale unaponawa, unaangalia usafi wako wa mikono, unaosha huku nje ya viganja, unasugua katikati ya vidole, pia huku kwenye kucha, manake uchafu wajifiche huku kwenye kucha. Uoshe, kisha sunza na maji yanayotiririka. Maji yakimwaika, kusema kweli tutashinda. Tuzingatie na tutii sheria. Korona tunaishinda na baadaye maisha yatarudi kama kawaida wa Kenya.
Jiamini na ujikubali kuwa wewe kibinafsi. Ikiwezekana, cheza kama wewe, kwa sababu wengine wote wameshachukuliwa. Aliyesalia ni wewe mwenyewe, na kando yako hakuna mwingine. Inakufaa kucheza ngoma kiwewe kana kwamba
Kupata ujiamini, bonyeza *811 *817 hash. Bonyeza *811 *817 hash.
Symptomatic, pre-symptomatic, symptomatic. What is the difference? Current evidence suggests that most transmission occurs from symptomatic people through close contacts with others. Effective tracking of infections and contacting people who may have picked up the disease from confirmed cases is now a focus for many countries. In doing so, the President urged Kenyans to be their brother's keeper. Therefore, behooves us to continue to adhere to the Ministry of Health's guidelines in combating the spread of the disease.
Governments around the world have closed schools for now in an effort to contain the spread of COVID-19.
Across Africa, close to 300 million students have had their regular education disrupted as a result of the pandemic. Schools across the continent have had to come up with remote methods to ensure that learning continues. However, significant challenges exist. Low internet connection and expensive data means that not all students can access classes online. Parents are worried about the future of education for their children, and several countries are considering reopening schools. But what risks does this pose? How can schools run safely when infections are on the rise across Africa? This is The Breakdown, BBC Africa's COVID-19 special program, helping you make sense of the crisis. Let's get started. My name is Ian Wafula. More than 3 months after learning was suspended due to COVID-19 in most African countries, some governments have begun reopening learning institutions in a bid to return to normalcy. In South Africa, the government embarked on phased reopening in early June, but weeks later, more than 700 schools were closed across the country over new infections amongst members of staff and pupils.
Now, there are many challenges in South Africa pertaining to education. Some schools in South Africa don't have proper sanitation. A lot of schools don't have water, which is something that is critical in the fight against COVID-19. Now, some schools do have sanitizers and have been giving masks to children to be able to put on during classes. We know that over 2,000 teachers and non-teaching staff members at schools have contracted COVID-19 in South Africa, and over 1,000 pupils have contracted COVID-19, and unfortunately about 11 teachers, including non-teaching staff members at some schools, have died as a result of contracting COVID-19 to date, and unfortunately 3 learners in some schools in South Africa have also died as a result of contracting COVID-19. Now, there are still many challenges with regards to the capacity of some of these schools, which have previously been challenged with overcrowding. A lot of unions coming out to say that some schools in the townships like this one and in rural communities will not be able to deal with the capacity of children that are expected to return in a phased approach, according to the Basic Education Department.
Following weeks of lost classroom time, learning has finally resumed in Senegal after final year students were allowed back to school, but under strict guidelines such as hand washing, keeping physical distance, temperature checks, and wearing face masks.
The government was able to translate into action its willingness to reopen schools after a first unsuccessful attempt on June the 2nd following coronavirus cases among teachers in the country's south. Authorities intend to make a success of this second attempt with a school exam timetable between August and September. For classes that are not concerned by exams, pedagogical committees will be created to define criteria for advancing to next grades. Senegal continues to report about 100 confirmed cases of COVID-19 daily. The country passed the 100 death mark from coronavirus in late June.
Now, Tanzania became the first country in East Africa to reopen schools on the 1st of July after 3 months of closure due to the coronavirus pandemic. The government has issued new detailed guidelines for schools, colleges, and other educational institutions. Among the guidelines, pupils below the age of 8 and those with respiratory conditions such as asthma, heart, and sickle cell disease should not wear masks.
We will have running water everywhere and soap. Everyone will be reminded about hand washing. Secondly, wearing of masks. I am asking all students to have the recommended masks that can protect them.
To reopen or not? That seems to be the biggest dilemma for parents, teachers, and policymakers as coronavirus cases continue to rise.
My greatest fear is for them to go to school because obviously they'll be interacting with other kids from God knows where they would have come from. The kind of exposure that they may be exposed to. Those are my fears. You know, they'll exchange food, they will give each other hugs, they will, in the playground, what will they do? What kind of restrictions will be there?
We were still worried about the disruption of the learning calendar, knowing that we don't have
facilities for remote learning in Zimbabwe. So we knew that we were not going to be able to continue giving formal instructions to our learners.
The coronavirus has really affected my studies because I'm unable to go for lectures, and the online studies is not really effective due to internet